We about to be simping for pixels today, boys. So as you can see, man, sneak peek number 2 just dropped for the December update, and this one is coming out of left field. Like, it's even more mind-boggling than the fact that we're getting the No Way Home update in December when we've never actually gotten a full update in December in the history of this game. So check this out, boys. They dropped a new teaser, and CM Fragment here with a new message for us. 2 supervillains who rule the criminal underworld seems to be conspiring something new. The king and the queen of the criminal underbelly. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Check out the new winter looks, right, of the king and queen of burglary and crime. So, ladies and gentlemen, Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, and Felicia. Oh my god. Okay, let me calm down. My girl Felicia, aka the Black Cat, is getting another uniform. This is going to be her 3rd uniform, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy. Felicia Hardy, she about to be a whole snack, boys. I absolutely love Black Cat. Listen, we about to be simping for pixels. Guys, look at her. Look at her. Yes, a new Black Cat uniform. We've never had a Black Cat meta, but I'm hoping that with Silk getting a summer uniform that is top tier, we can see something similar for my girl Felicia. So this right here is the full trailer that they decided to drop, and the attention to detail for these uniforms is absolutely amazing. And as per usual, even though this is reserved for her, she decided she wanted to test her skills and steal this brand new look. Oh my gosh, she about to steal my heart all over again, man. I love Felicia, okay? I absolutely love the Black Cat. We've never gotten a Black Cat meta. I'm hoping that these uniforms are more than just for show. Kingpin looking like a drip god. Like, look at the rings, bro. How many rings this man got? All of them, okay? That's more rings than LeBron and Michael Jordan. Kingpin out here in these streets. The streets don't exist without him, bro. The streets need him. Anyways, I'm very excited for this because Kingpin and Black Cat are 2 of the worst characters in the game. And if you've been around for a while, you know me, I absolutely love when they pick up the trash in Marvel Future Fight and give them their moment to shine. These are the kind of uniforms that I love to see. Instead of getting uniforms for the same characters over and over again like Captain America and Iron Man, it's nice to see some of these lessers in the game actually get a glow up. I'm very much excited about this. It's funny because there was a data mine that said we were going to be getting uniforms for Rocket and Gamora for Christmas / the winter holidays. However, that's not what's happening here. These are the new seasonal uniforms for Black Cat and Kingpin. So that means Gamora is not getting any love. That's sad. Rocket's not getting any love. That's sad too. But at least it's 2 characters that fit the theme of this update, and they're also bad characters at that. So this is amazing. Shout out for the Future Fight team here, because these are honestly 2 characters that I absolutely love, and I'm looking forward to picking up these uniforms. We'll talk about how you can pick up these uniforms, because you can expect to have to pay money for at least one of them. My money is going to be on Felicia. I know some of you guys are going to think, because of the fact that these characters can be tied to the No Way Home movie, that this in some way is possibly a spoiler for the movie. I highly doubt that, because do keep in mind that every update that the Marvel Future Fight team wants to bring to the game, they have to run that by Marvel. So if Marvel saw that these uniforms had the potential to spoil stuff for the movie, they probably would not have allowed these guys to release these until well after the movie was already released globally to everyone. So even though these guys are tied to Spider-Man, Kingpin being one of his more formidable villains and Black Cat being a love interest for him at times, I doubt that these characters have anything to do with the No Way Home movie, besides the fact that they're Spider-Man villains. And over here on Twitter, this is what they had to say. They said Kingpin devised the plan for his fashionable, look at my man, looking at the drip, look at the fur coat, look at the drip, his fashionable, devious re-debut in Marvel Future Fight V770 update. Hopefully, no one, Black Cat, will steal the show. And then they obviously, in the trailer, they have her stealing her costume, right? So that's pretty cool. I like it. Shout out to the sneak peek team, man. Not only do these look really, really good, but the play on words here and the fact that she pulls up and steals something that is already hers is typical of the Black Cat. Now, I know some of you guys are not going to be too fond of the idea of Black Cat's uniform potentially being paywall, especially if she's your favorite character and you've been waiting forever for her to be meta, because there's a very real possibility that she could be meta. Looking at what they did for Silk, where they took her out of the dumpsters as one of the worst characters in the game that had an awakened skill, to now being one of the very best, clapping 40 plus against Null and tearing down Mephisto like he's nothing. That could be a very real possibility for Black Cat as well. She could be pushing into the 40s against Null as well, because stage 40 Null, you need the agility tag to participate. And since she's a female, she's going to be available to you against Mephisto in the 30s. So she could very well be the second coming of Silk. And if she's locked behind Cash, just like Silk, that's going to rub some people the wrong way. But I think that is exactly what is going to happen. If you look at the history of these seasonal uniforms, the females tend to be locked behind a paywall. Gwenpool was locked behind a paywall. Now, there is, I guess, an issue here. Well, not really an issue, just something that I'm curious about. When they gave us Gwenpool's uniform, they didn't even give her a level 70 at that moment in time. So I'm wondering, is Black Cat going to get an awakened skill or a tier 3? Because if she's just getting a seasonal uniform, there's really nothing to worry about, because even though the seasonal uniforms are way stronger than regular uniforms, if she doesn't get an awakened skill or a tier 3, then she's still just going to be like a Shadowland character or a World Boss Ultimate character. The reason why Silk grew up like she did is because she already had an awakened skill. So the strong uniform with the awakened skill and the potential to participate in World Boss Legend just flew her right up the charts. Also, if you take a look at the other seasonal uniforms, White Fox, you had to pay money for. Amora, aka Enchantress, you had to pay money for. Even Lady Deadpool, when it first came out, caused some controversy because they didn't make it a synergy uniform at first, and I believe they initially wanted cash for it, but now it's for crystals and it comes back with the season, right? But the males typically get sold for crystals. Quicksilver for crystal, Cable for crystals, Groot, which I didn't buy last year, that gets sold for crystals, right? So more than likely, Kingpin's new uniform is gonna get sold for crystals. And then Black Cat, because they know people want to simp. Well, they don't want to simp, but people are gonna simp. If they had to choose between Kingpin and Black Cat to pay money for, more than likely, most people will shell out for Black Cat over Kingpin, even if Kingpin turned out to be the stronger character, because people love to sim for pixels. It is what it is, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely gonna get Black Cat's uniform regardless of whether or not you have to pay crystals or money for it. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am really looking forward to seeing Kingpin back in the meta, because I'm not too sure how many of you guys watching this video were playing the game when it actually launched or close to when it actually launched, but this guy was actually meta. Believe it or not, there was a moment in time when Kingpin was meta for 2 days of Alliance battle. The combat day, because base kit Kingpin is a combat character, and then he was actually meta for the blast day as well, because he was one of the very first characters that could change typing. So you could use him 2 days in Alliance battle, and he even had a leadership to go along with him for both days. Sad this guy is like dirt now, along with Kingpin, but believe it or not, back in the day, let me actually see if I can find him. I have his uniform on right now. Deathlock was actually meta as well for Kingpin, because just like Kingpin, he could change type from combat to blast. So I would really love to relive some of my memories of playing with Kingpin in Alliance battle. Possibly now in Extreme Alliance battle on the combat day if he goes back to being combat, or on the blast super villain day or something if he actually ends up being meta. But either way, just the fact that two characters at the very bottom of the game, like any tier list you look at, Black Cat would be at the very bottom along with Kingpin. Just the fact that these two characters are getting touched is very, very exciting. I'm hoping that they both get some justice. Shout out to Aegon. I was talking to these boys in the chat earlier, and I'm saying, yo, I really hope that Kingpin replaces Apocalypse. For one, Kingpin would be way cheaper for people to build than Apocalypse, but I don't know if Netmarble would want to do that, especially since I think this is the uniform they're going to sell for crystals, and it would be a cheaper uniform. Well, actually, no. Seasonal uniforms don't go on sale, so it would be actually more expensive than Apocalypse's uniform. I was actually initially going to say this would be a cheaper uniform than buying a uniform for Apocalypse, because Apocalypse's uniform costs what, 1,500 crystals when it's on sale. But at least Kingpin would be cheaper to build than Apocalypse. But to be honest, you're not really using feathers for too much, so you could easily build Apocalypse over building Kingpin. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they do for Kingpin. These boys in the Alliance are saying that they might make him an AC character. And if they did that, I would be okay with it. But at the same time, I would like Kingpin to be able to clap some world boss and do some ABX. But if he ends up being, I don't know, kind of like Luke Cage, where he has a really powerful PvP set, then I'm okay with that. Hopefully Kingpin gets a heal, some damage immunity, or maybe some damage accumulation based on damage taken, because Kingpin is a tank. So if he could get like Sharon Rogers' damage accumulation, that would be really nice, with also a 20 or 30% heal in his kit. That would be awesome. So hopefully they do something cool for Kingpin. But Black Cat is going to be the one that you pay money for. So this will be interesting, because unlike last year where they didn't really have to do too much, because White Fox was already a support character, so all they really had to do was just make her uniform bonus a little bit better by giving her some more all attack, some chain hit damage, and some ignore dodge. Black Cat is not a support currently, right? She's a DPS and not a very good one. She doesn't have the greatest survivability. However, I do like her ability here, Misfortune, where she heals a percentage of the damage dealt. That's actually really, really cool, and it gets better on her all new, all different. I believe it goes up to 25%. That's actually really cool. I like the lifesteal ability, but on her uniform, she only gets like 3% chain hit damage. They actually nerfed it from her previous uniform, which was giving 5%. So my guess is they're probably gonna bump up the chain hit damage on this uniform right here from 3% to today's standard of 10 to 15%, and then probably give her some all attack and possibly some damage accumulation. But seeing what they did for Silk, where they just gave her a bunch of attack buffs, they could replicate that, because a lot of people love Silk now. So it is what it is. As long as the uniform looks good and it has decent damage, people will definitely shell out for it. Anyways, ladies and gents, we're gonna wrap it up right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Is this what you were expecting? And if it's not, are you still excited for it? I know.